To determine what pattern we're dealing with, we have to be able to look at the components or the pieces of each one of these sentences. Pattern number one equals sentence that only has a subject and a verb, which is also called our predicate. Okay, so let's look at these sentences. Polly waltzed onto the dance floor. Remember, when first thing you do when you get these sentences, eliminate those prepositional phrases. Okay, we have our preposition, it starts with a prep, ends with our object of the prep, which has to be a noun or a pronoun, and then we're left with our subject and our predicate. So this is in pattern number one. This sentence here, let's see if it's a sentence. Does it have a subject? Yes. She. What did she do? She read. That's her simple predicate. This also only has a subject and a verb, so this is a sentence, and it is in pattern number one. Let's look at this one. The tired old woman cleaned often. Woman cleaned. Okay? Now we're left with this often. This tells us how often she cleaned, so this here is an adverb. All right? If it was in pattern 2 or 3, then it would have a direct object, and a direct object has to be a noun or a pronoun. So I know that often isn't. So this too falls into pattern number one. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Pattern number two are sentences that have a subject plus a verb plus a direct object. Okay, a direct object is a word, is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb. Okay, so in this sentence here, if I can get my mouse to do what I want, Polly, simple subject. What did Polly do? Polly bought, so that's our simple predicate, simple subject. Polly bought what? Polly bought dress. That is a DO. It answers the question what Polly bought. This is in pattern number two. She read book. She's the simple subject. She read, that's our simple predicate. She read what? Book. This is in pattern number two as well. The old woman cleaned the drapes. Woman is our simple subject. Cleaned. What did she clean? Woman cleaned drapes. So woman jumps to our simple predicate, jumps to our direct object. So in this sentence, book is a direct object. In this sentence, drape is a direct object. This is also pattern number two. Pattern number two is subject plus verb plus a direct object. Scroll down a little bit. All right. The next pattern is pattern number three. P3. It's a subject plus a verb plus a DO, which stands for direct object, and a indirect object. An indirect object is who or what is receiving the direct object. So an indirect object is who or what is receiving that. Okay, so you've got to have a direct object in the sentence to have an indirect object. All right, this is pattern number three. Let's take a look. Polly bought her sister a new dress. Polly. What did Polly do? Polly bought. Simple subject. Bounced to simple predicate. Bought what? What did Polly buy? He didn't buy his sister, her sister. Polly bought a dress. Polly bought a dress. So there's our DO. Is there anybody receiving that dress? Yes. Sister did. That's the IDO. The IDO will always be between the verb and the DO. Always, always, always. Between the verb and the DO. That's where the indirect object will always be. Because this has an indirect object, this is pattern number three. Let's look at this one. She read, so our simple subject, simple predicate, what did she read? She didn't read the children, she read the book. She read the book, so there's our DO. Who received the book? The children. The children's the IDO. And look at it is falling between the verb and the DO. That's where an IDO belongs. That is also 3. The old woman gave the pharmacy her prescription. Woman, simple subject. Gave is our simple predicate. Gave what? What did she give? She gave her prescription. So there's our DO. And who received that prescription? The pharmacy did. There's our IDO falling between the verb and the DO, because that's where an IDO goes, and that is also number 3. Now this next sentence here I put there to kind of give you a sentence that might trip you up a little bit. We have almost the same meaning. In this sentence, the old woman gave the pharmacy a prescription. In this sentence, the old woman gave her prescription to the pharmacy. It means exactly the same thing, but that doesn't mean we still have an IDO. Let's check it out. The woman is our simple subject, just like in this sentence. Gave is our verb, just like in this sentence. Woman gave what? She gave her prescription. So it's a DO, just like in this sentence. However, this here, if I can get this working, this here is a prepositional phrase. So in this sentence, this word here is an object of the preposition, not an IDO. All right? An object of the preposition is a noun or a pronoun that completes a prepositional phrase. So this is a prepositional phrase. So in this sentence, it's an OP. So this pattern here, because it does not have an IDO, because it just has a subject, verb, and DO, this is actually pattern number 2. All right? This here, although these two sentences mean identical things, in this sentence, pharmacy is an object of the predicate. In this sentence, pharmacy is an IDO. And also I know that because I know an IDO always is going to be between the verb and the DO. And I don't have an IDO in this sentence. Let's move down. Okay. Now we're going to talk about linking verbs. Linking verbs link the subject to something in the predicate portion of the sentence. It's like you're saying the subject is something else. Okay? In this sentence, or let me put it this way, it's like saying the subject of the sentence is equivalent to something in the predicate. All right? The past sentence we've been looking at are all action verbs. They show an action, they tell what someone did or what someone is doing. But in these sentences, the linking verbs are telling us what someone is being, or what someone had been, or being like. So we have Melissa was the class president. So just like in any other sentence, we have a subject, and we have a was. And was is a linking verb. All right? It's telling us something that Melissa was. Melissa was president. Now, since we're dealing with a linking verb, we are not looking at DOs anymore. We have no DOs and we have no IDOs to look for because we have a linking verb. We're looking for complements. Okay, we need a complement. Linking verbs have complements. Linking verbs do not have direct objects. Okay, so we have a complement. Melissa was president. And president is a noun, so what we have here is a noun complement. Let's look at this sentence. Boys is our subject. Linking verb. The boys were scouts. Boys were scouts. It tells us what the boys were. Boys and scouts are the same thing. Just like Melissa and president used to be the same thing. Melissa was the president. Boys were scouts. So again, we have an NC. And because this is a noun complement, this is non-complement, a noun complement, this is pattern 4. Pattern 4 is subject plus linking verb plus noun complement. That's pattern number 4. P4. All right, let's look at these two. House is our subject. All right, we have this linking verb again. We have another linking verb. House is old. All right, so in this sentence here, we don't have a noun. Old is a word describing the house, so a word that describes a noun is an adjective. So this is an AC, which stands for adjective complement. All right, it tells us about the house. So that is pattern number 5. All right, remember, keep remembering that if you're dealing with a linking verb, you have no DO. No DO. I'm looking for complements. So here you go, last sentence in this part. I is our subject. Am is our verb or our simple predicate. I am what? I am hungry. So in this sentence, hungry describes what I am. So it's also an AC, which is an adjective complement. So this is also pattern number 5. Here are 5 sentences on the bottom of this page. Let's figure out what pattern we're dealing with. All right, so the first thing you do is locate the subject. Diamond is. All right. Diamond is what? Is an action verb or a linking verb? It's a linking verb. It doesn't describe an action. It tells what something is being or doing. Or I'm sorry. So what something is being. Diamond is authentic. So authentic is an adjective. So this is AC. So we got a subject, linking verb, AC. So that is pattern number 5. Subject plus linking verb plus adjective complement. So we have pattern 5. Next one. He, subject, drove, and then we have a prepositional phrase here. Right? So in this sentence, we only have a subject and a verb. That is pattern number 1. Pattern number 1 is subject plus verb and action verb if you want to be more specific. Pattern number 1. He drove what? Car. And we have a prepositional phrase. I can remove that. He drove car, so I'm dealing with P2. Subject plus verb plus DO. Pattern number 2. The next sentence. Boy was star. Okay, subject. What the subject is being or doing. Oops. It's a linking verb. Star. And star is a noun, so this is a noun complement. So P4, subject plus verb, or linking verb plus noun complement. That's number 4. Nathan, subject, gave, verb. Gave what? What did he give? He gave his textbook, so that must be my DO. Who received my textbook? Her. He gave her his textbook. And that IDO, look at it's appearing right between the verb and the DO. So that must be pattern number 3. P3 equals subject plus verb plus DO plus IDO. So it has all of those things. So that's it. Take it piece by piece. Remember that linking verbs have complements. Action verbs have objects. Okay, that's it.